Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Keeper, the 2025 horror film directed by Osgood Perkins. If you like Osgood Perkins movies, then you're going to like this movie, but if you don't like Osgood Perkins movies, then you're not going to like this movie. This is a movie a lot of people did not like. There are a lot of low-rated reviews out there. I am very much in the minority here because I enjoyed this movie. It worked for me, especially as a piece of atmospheric slow burn horror. FYI, this review will not contain spoilers. At its core, Keeper follows a couple, Liz and Malcolm, who retreat to his remote cabin in the woods. Very quickly, the film establishes an unsettling tone. Something is off, something is watching, and the isolation becomes suffocating. This isn't a jump scare heavy movie. It's vague, quiet, and intentionally restrained. Perkins is more interested in dread, mood, and slow tension than answers, at least at first. The cinematography and visuals are one of the reasons why Keeper works so well for me. This film has a grainy, textured look to it that makes it feel tangible, almost dirty in a good way. It feels physical and real, not overly polished or digital. The cabin itself is gorgeous but intimidating. Sometimes it feels safe, and at other times it feels like it's watching the character's back. The surrounding forest is beautifully shot, but it's also isolating and oppressive. I am a huge sucker for beautifully shot films, and Keeper scratched that itch. Even when I was confused narratively, I never got bored visually. Osgood Perkins excels at location-based horror. The cabin in the woods setting is simple, but it's used incredibly well. The movie does a great job of letting silence do the work. There are long stretches where nothing happens, but you feel as if something is coming. The atmosphere is consistently eerie. I saw this movie alone in an empty theater, and whether that boosted the experience or not, I ended up getting chills from this movie. If a horror movie can genuinely give me chills, I think that's a win. Tatiana Maslany as Liz is excellent. She grounds the movie emotionally and gives the character a quiet vulnerability that really works. Rosif Sutherland as Malcolm is also very strong. On the surface, he feels like a loving partner, but there's something slightly off about him. He makes choices that feel selfish. And again, while those cracks in the relationship are subtle, they are intentional. Kel Turton as Darren is also solid and adds to the mounting tension without feeling like a throwaway character. The performances do a lot of heavy lifting in a movie that purposely withholds information, and this is where Keeper loses people. The story is extremely vague for most of the runtime. I was confused for most of the movie, but not in a bad way, rather a where is this heading sort of way. Perkins doesn't give you many breadcrumbs. Personally, I think this movie would have benefited from a few more subtle hints earlier on. Not answers, just clues. That said, once the movie reaches its climax, things finally click into place, and I really liked how it all came together. Again, if you like Osgood Perkins movies and how they come together in the climax, then you're going to like this movie. If you don't, you won't. One thing Keeper does exceptionally well is restraint. The film keeps its creatures hidden for a long time, letting your imagination do the work. When we finally see them, the payoff is worth it. The prosthetic makeup is incredible. It's slimy, fleshy, soulless, and genuinely gross. These monsters feel real in a way that CGI-heavy horror often doesn't. So, huge props to the practical effects team here. The soundtrack and sound design play a huge part in creating the atmospheric horror. Peggy Lee's I Don't Want to Play in Your Yard is the perfect nostalgic 1950s song that feels eerily tainted. It has that same effect as Tiny Tim's Tiptoe Through the Tulips from Insidious. A song that was nice and wholesome back then now feels tense and eerie. Adding to that, the score knows exactly when to fade into the background and when to become unsettling. It lets the sound design take over with a creaking cabin and forest ambience. And even with specific characters, the sound design is gross. Whether it's someone stuffing their face with cake or a head being pulled out of a jar, the squelchy noises will put you on edge. The final thing I want to say is that one of my favorite things about Osgood Perkins is that he keeps his movies short. At 1 hour and 39 minutes, Keeper never overstays its welcome. Any longer and it would have started to drag. The pacing is deliberate but controlled, slow but never indulgent. Overall, Keeper isn't going to be for everyone, and I completely understand why it's so divisive. This is a slow, vague, atmosphere-first horror movie that values mood and restraint over clarity and constant momentum. But for me, it worked. Between the gorgeous cinematography, the oppressive cabin setting, the strong performances, the genuinely unsettling sound design, and the effective use of practical monster effects, Keeper delivered the kind of creeping, uneasy horror that I really respond to. I do think the film could have benefited from a few more narrative breadcrumbs along the way, but the payoff in the final act ultimately landed for me. If you're already a fan of Osgood Perkins and his slow burn approach to horror, I think Keeper is absolutely worth checking out. Despite the mixed reception, I really enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to my review of Keeper. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.